Somebody asked me a question about what do I think about democracy, and as it is right now, I really think that democracy is a sleeping pig. It, it is a tool that is used to cause us to sleep in ignorance. Why am I saying that? We sleep in the illusion of thinking that we have freedom when we actually do not have one. Um, we always associate democracy with rights, civil rights and human rights. I'll just give you a brief difference of the two. Civil rights are rights you gain by virtue of being a citizen in a particular country, and human rights are rights you gain by virtue of being human. The fact that you're human, it means you have a right to life, you have a right to education, you have a right to freedom of expression. So now, what does democracy promise? Democracy promises both, but it does not give both. And why am I saying that? Is because in my observation, I think in as much as we claim to have civil rights, we do not have. In as much as we claim to have human rights, I think we do not have. I'll give you a practical example. Your right to vote is a civil right, but to what extent does your voting take you? What results does it produce? Because if it's your right to vote, then it should produce results. And more than anything we see after we voted is corruption, not the change that we have imagined before we voted, or the change we promised before we voted. Take for example a young man from China and a young black man from South Africa. They both have civil rights and human rights. Their human right is a right to be to be educated, or a right to education. All right. You are both given access to education, but there's a thin line between the education a Chinese man receives and the education you as a young black person in South Africa receives. A Chinese young man receives education that prepares him for a business, whilst the education you receive as a young black person is the education that prepares you for employment. So you are prepared to be a functional slave in a corporate world, while that one is prepared to be a functional inhabitor of a company that continuously bring cash flow, streams of income in their lives. And here you are as a black South African working for a boss who tells you when you should go drink tea, when you should go to the toilet, when you should go to lunch, and how much time should you spend with your family. So democracy as it is does not really give answers to our problems and to our questions. In fact, in as much as we might think of it as one of the best